Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today is another video in my mini series called Large Appliances and Electronics versus Small Vehicles. When I first started scrapping, I did have to pass up large ticket items like this whole because I could not fit them into my car. Now that I have a truck, it's easy for me to pick them up, put them in the back, and later remove all of the items. However, I do want to mention that even though you have a small vehicle, it is not impossible to come away with some really nice goodies quickly and effectively from a gas dryer such as this and other appliances. So what I want to do today is a 3-minute challenge, show you how much of these items I can take off in 3 minutes, show you how to identify the items, and more importantly, how to at least come away with some scrap value and divert as much of it away from the landfill as possible. The nice thing is now that I have a truck, I will later take apart this entire gas dryer. And I do have videos that show the complete breakdown of not only these gas dryers, but also electric ones. And I will upload that into my description. The difference between one of these gas dryers and an electric dryer is an electric dryer has a really nice thick power cord that has some really nice brass ends to it. These gas dryers only have a small power cord, but still worth scrappable money. And they also have, as you can see in yellow there, a nice stainless steel hose that is important to get off. So I'm going to show you the goodies there in a second. I do also want to take this opportunity to address another question I had from a beginner scrapper, and that was, what tools do I always take with me while I'm driving around? And I do mention all of the tools in all my other 3-minute challenge videos, but I think it's just as important to add it to this one in case you were new to my channel. For me, safety glasses are a must for sure, especially if I am on the side of the road and I want to use my hammer to quickly smash off a small little motor or some type of plastic to get at it. So definitely want to protect my eyes. As I said, a hammer, easy to smash something quickly, to take it off if it's, connected to a large item that is not scrap. I always will bring with me as well a hacksaw, as well as a knife and a pair of side cutters. I find the knife and side cutters really good for cutting wire, as well as hose ends. They have a really nice brass end to it. A little hacksaw as well if there are small bolts, or sometimes copper pipe if I want to quickly remove that. So a nice little hacksaw. I always have a type of pry bar that I can just get some leverage on and pry it out, as well as some really nice vice grips that I have here to grab onto a bolt if I need to quickly turn off a knob or some type of connector, especially when I'm looking at brass faucets underneath, being able to clamp that and turn it off, as well as another type of plier, if you will, a pipe wrench. I do use these as well. And you will see something like this does come in handy when I want to remove the hose off of this dryer. So definitely, I have 3 of them. Better to have more than less. I always as well have a set of either Allen keys or something like this, which is called an L key security set. These are inexpensive, but have come in handy. So they do have like the Allen heads to them. But inside you can see there is a circular spot, and that is to remove any types of security screws. Microwaves have them. They are your screws that have the little nub on it. Those screws are put on there from manufacturers to try and keep people out of them. So I do keep a pair of these, as I said, Allen keys for sure. As well as the last thing is my screwdriver set that has different attachments to it. A lot of times you will come across bolts and screws that need different attachments, so it's great to carry one of these around, a lot better than carrying 30 screwdrivers. So it does come with a lot of different things, as well as some ratchet heads in there. So these are my items. And the last thing, a magnet for sure. Magnets are great to identify the type of material. If I was to put it up against the item and it did not stick, it could be brass, copper, good stainless steel, aluminum. So I definitely want to spend a little bit more time on that because it is going to give me higher value than my tin. So a magnet for sure. Going to start with this dryer here. As I said, 3 minutes. First thing I always remove, if there is on the back, this is your connector. It always has a little bit of lint in it, but this is a beautiful piece of clean Aluminum does have a little bit of lint, but that's okay. This is going to go for easily 50 to 60 cents. This is kind of like your sheet aluminum. And I always just crush it down with my feet. Very easy to do. You can see it's flat now. I have a whole bunch of that. Just going to turn this around for you to show you. Now, the back panel, I did order, there's only 2 screws, but if I quickly use my screwdriver, remove my back panel here, this here has some tin on it. Okay, there were only 2 or 3 screws because whomever was playing with it was probably trying to fix the panel here, and unfortunately it was irreplaceable or irreparable, so they just put it inside of the road. So a nice piece of sheet tin. This is going to go for about 6 to 7 cents a pound. In London, Ontario, I just checked prices. Tin is one of those great scrappable materials that it's easy to build up weight. And as you can see, something like this, it doesn't look like a lot, but it weighs a little bit of weight to it, which is good. And it doesn't take up a lot of space. I can easily put 500 or 600 pounds of tin like this into my truck in one load. So that's definitely great. As well on the back, you can see a really nice power cord. All I really have to do for this is just going to cut it, even if I didn't want to open this panel. So this power cord, as I said, a lot thinner than your appliance wire that you get from an electric dryer, but this is still a good item. As you can see inside of there, there are 3 strands of wire, and this is actually going to be classified as 40% appliance wire. And the rule is when a scrapyard looks at appliance wire, they look at copper to plastic ratio and copper recovery. Because this has an outer coating of plastic and inside you can just see that yellow one there, that is an additional coating of plastic. So there are 2 layers of plastic on here, less copper recovery. So this is your 40% appliance wire. But this is still right now going for $1.25 a pound in London, Ontario. A great item. This is definitely close to a pound. It actually is pretty heavy. Some people will leave the brass prongs on there for the weight. I do take those off. I'll put them into my brass. Very easy to do. I just bend them off and I put them into my brass, which is right now going for about $2.55 a pound. Not really a difference in weight. It will not make a significant difference with that, but I do have a nice large bucket of prongs that I've been saving, and over time that will add up for sure. So 40% appliance wire. If I was to open it and it did not reveal an inner coating of plastic, it would be your 60% appliance wire, which is actually right now going for $2.14 a pound. So it has actually gone up a little bit. Definitely better value, and you definitely want to separate the 2, okay? So the rule, as I said, 2 layers of coated plastic on the copper wire, lower value, but still at 40% appliance wire and $1.25 a pound, give or take, is definitely a good item. As well, I have right here my hose. This is your gas line. Just gonna quickly use my pipe wrench, if you will. Just kind of turn it. Oh, sorry, got a righty-tighty, loosey. I've already kind of loosened it a little bit beforehand, but this pipeline here, you do actually have to change them every time you get a new dryer. I do find tons of these styles of pipeline in construction sites that have the plastic coating on it. And very easy to recognize. They're usually yellow, actually 99.999% times they're yellow. This one is painted yellow, but the other ones are coated. I'm trying to look around, I don't have any here. But very easy to tell, it is non-magnetic, okay? The hose here, you do want to check. Sometimes there is brass connectors. This one, however, is magnetic. So this is just gonna go, these ends have to be cut off. They're gonna go into my steel pile. This, however, is going to be stainless steel, and stainless steel right now is going for about 80 cents a pound. And in order for it to be classified as good stainless steel at that price, it has to be non-magnetic. A lot of stainless steel could say stainless steel on it or have a thin brushing of it, but if the magnet sticks, then it will be the same type of price as tin. So nice non-magnetic stainless steel here. Again, as I said, this is painted yellow, but it's still going to be stainless. The other thing, someone may ask, could it be aluminum? Easy way to find out is the spark test. If I put a grinder to a type of pipe like this and it sparks, it's going to be stainless steel. If it is non-magnetic and it does not spark, then it's aluminum. So this is going to give me easily over a pound of stainless steel, so I definitely want to make sure I take that. I do have to cut, as I said, the connectors off. And to change, or to clarify the difference between steel and your tin or shred, depending on where you are, some places don't have shred, but here in Southwestern Ontario, we call tin or shred, we put it in the same category. And in order to be classified as steel, the item has to be thicker than a 1/4 inch. So a lot of times structural beams, sometimes your thicker screws. So something like this, as you can see, is definitely thicker than a 1/4 inch. So I could put this into my steel as well as this connector. A little bit more than tin price, but definitely a good item. Okay, now as you can see, I have my panel here, and I'm just going to quickly take this panel. I just want to cut first a little bit of this off, just to get these hoses or these connectors off. I will deal with these in a second. If I was actually on the side of the road, I would cut as close to this base as I can, so maybe I might actually do that just to show you, okay? Because I want to make sure I get as much of this wire as I can. Okay, so this wire right here, this is going to be a good example of your 60% higher price. As you can see inside of there, there's the camera. There is my copper wire. So all of these are single coated strands. So this is your higher value, 60% appliance wire at $2.14 a pound. It definitely adds up. The control panel is also an excellent find. These circuit boxes here, if you will, once I crush that or break that open, there's going to be some really nice brass in there. You can see some brass already there. There's going to be some great prongs. There's going to be a small copper motor in here that's going to have number 2 copper. And number 2 copper is going right now for $3.90 a pound. So scrapping copper in our scrappers world. Copper is obviously our scrappers gold. As well as you've got some beautiful yellow brass prongs here. And inside this on and off button here, if I click that, there is a little bit of copper you can see in there. As well, there is a little bit of silver. Every type of click button or on circuit boards, you have your relay boxes. There is a small dot of silver. I do cut those off. I will put them into a little vial. But every one of these little control panels are going to have some really nice brass or copper. You can see this prong right here does have a nice burnt spot to it, so I'm sure some of the connectors there were burnt. The little prongs here could have overheated. It could have tripped something. And you also want to make sure you check these control panels. This one is plastic. I can see that from that. But a lot of times your washers and dryers will have a thin coating or panel of aluminum. So you definitely want to check that. This one, as I said, is all plastic. There is no connector to that. As well, I have actually taken off even knobs from old dryers and actually have used them for myself because I don't know if I'm just cursed with it, but I continue to break, or my knobs continue to break on this, and instead of spending $20 on a knob, I can easily just repair one or take one from a dryer that I take apart from the side of the road. So these parts definitely you could probably use again, or you could actually even probably sell some of them if they're in good workable condition. So definitely these panel boxes. Okay, inside here, I do want to quickly, if time, and this is where my different screwdriver set comes in handy. Just going to quickly see if I can take this off. Obviously, my 3 minutes, I spend a lot of time explaining things, but I also, when I take my screws off, I want to caution and clarify that it is definitely important as well not to leave a mess. I have seen some people, unfortunately, take off screws and just throw them on the ground, which can potentially obviously puncture a tire from someone, leave a mess, someone can step on it, what have you. So a magnet definitely comes in handy as well. when I am taking things apart so that I can easily just put them on the magnet and keep them off the ground. And then later I will also take these screws and put them into my tin. So just going to quickly look on the bottom here. I may actually be able to take this panel off depending on your style. This is where my pry bar could come in handy. Okay, so let's just see if I can do this. Sometimes, oh, there's the screw right there. So sometimes if you can remove this panel as well, it too is an excellent source of scrap, tin, and as well, once you remove it as well, it could also get you to all the 60% appliance wire in there. Okay, unfortunately, I may not be able to get through it, but I definitely could take off another breaker box or another relay box. This definitely has some more copper and brass in it. Okay, gonna look on this side. Sometimes they will have a connector here that is tin as well. This one did not have it. But let's just see. Sometimes as well, you can actually get this entire upper component off. This one does not seem to be able to do that unless I put, I'm gonna try actually, even just trying with a hammer. Oh, this panel is starting to become looser. There we go. So, there you go. There is my dryer. So there again is my wire. I'm just about near my 3-minute mark, so I want to get this out for sure as close as I can. Okay, I'm gonna get all of this wire here as well on the drum. There is some other nice wires and motors, but again, this 60% appliance wire is what I'm after right now. And if I can remove the pin, there we go. So this pipe came with it. I can definitely slide this into my car. I have some really nice appliance wire here, as well as a really nice sheet of tin. Again, unfortunately, I probably can't get the rest of this item in my car, but good scrappable materials, at least better than nothing. Did not take me long, and as I said, you know, a little bit of this scrap value, definitely going to go away with some of it. So, hope you enjoyed that. Again, quick video, definitely a difference between your gas dryers and your electric ones, but still some great scrappable material. Lots of tin, some stainless steel pipe. I've got another 40% appliance wire here. Lots of brass and connectors from here, as well as the higher value 60% appliance wire. So hope you enjoyed that. Again, part of a mini series. I will go ahead and later and strip the rest of this down, get out the copper out of there. There's a motor in there, as well as a lot of other tin and copper. So hope you enjoyed it. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.